Thank you guys for tuning in. This is episode 22 of Coaching Connections, and I'm just so grateful that you're taking time out of your day to come and hang out with us and listen to these outstanding coaches' stories. I'm so grateful that we have two coaches on the show. Both go by the name of Jackson. We have Coach Herb Jackson out of San Antonio, Texas. He coaches at Burbank High School. We also have Coach Jackson out of Burleson, Centennial. Now, Coach Jackson out of Burleson, Centennial just completed his second year as the head coach running that program. And Coach Herb Jackson out of Burbank just announced his retirement after a 36-year career, 31 of those being at Burbank High School. Again, just blessed and grateful to have these guys on the show. They did an outstanding job talking about hoops and talking about life and sharing their stories and their passion for the game. Be sure to check us out on all our social media platforms. You can find the show on Twitter at Talks with Coach. You can find us on Facebook at Coaching Connections with Marcus Alvarado. And you can also hit that subscribe button there on the bottom of this YouTube channel and share it with all your family and friends. Let's get these amazing stories out about these wonderful coaches and share them with the world. Thank you for your time. Coaching Connections, episode 22, the Jacksons. Let's get after it.
What's going on, Coach?
Much.
Oh, man, I'm good, brother. I'm just trying to stay out of the way.
Stay home, right?
Yeah, man. Trying to stay at home while trying to figure out a way to get these kids right. Make sure they doing something.
Not being lazy. It's tough.
Yeah, man. How y'all doing? Y'all been working out there, or they shut y'all down yet?
Yeah, they shut us down. We started on that first day. They let us went for about a week and a day, and then on I think it was like Tuesday of the second week. The district said, no, there's too many people in San Antonio. Too many other schools had to shut down because someone was getting sick or multiple people were getting sick. So they said, we're not going to mess with it right now.
Yep. So how's everything else, man?
It's crazy, though. I mean, I was talking on the last episode. I did one yesterday, and there's no playbook for this. There's no precedent set. You know, how do we know what's right and what's not right? You know, there's never happened before. So, you know, it doesn't hit home. Like I have a good friend of mine that got sick, had to be hospitalized for a little bit, and got some other friends that have gotten sick and, you know, not doing great. You know, not life-threatening currently, but at first when you first saw the stuff on the news, it was just what you saw on the news, but then it starts hitting home, and it's like, wow, it's the real deal.
Exactly, man. Like that was the stuff that I was just like, I'm like, oh damn, like this is kind of serious. And he was just like, bro, like he's like he's able to function.
Yeah.
You know, but he's just like, man, ain't nothing about it feels comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it affects the lungs. It was, you know, like you're sitting there trying to breathe, and you know, people who are active, and he's a super active dude, you know, and athletes are more in tune with their bodies than anybody.
Yeah.
You know, and he's just like, bro, like I feel it, like there's something wrong. You know what I mean? Like it's just
there's nothing they can do. Like they just say, go home and drink some fluids and get some rest.
Yeah, man, like it's wild. And then I got shoots, man, like during our basketball season, man, right in our playoff run, we had a kid pop up with it.
Really?
Yeah, he popped up with it, but didn't know he had it.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, this was crazy, because this kid is like, if you see this kid, you'd be like, oh man, like he's one of the most physically blessed kids. I mean, it looked like you carved him out of stone, you know, and like this kid just never missed anything, tough as everything that you can. And all of a sudden he's like, Coach Jack, came to practice. He's like, Coach Jack, man, I'm not gonna be at school today. It's like, man, what's wrong with you? He's like, Coach, like I'm just not feeling it. Like I don't feel good, man. I can't breathe, Coach. Like I just can't breathe. And the dude go, man, all of a sudden he was done for the playoffs.
Bad timing.
Yep.
Bad timing.
You know, going for the playoffs. And I felt bad. I hated it for that kid, man. But
senior?
Same time. Nah, he's coming back.
Okay.
Yeah. Real good athlete, man. Super athlete, actually.
How was that game against Mansfield?
It was a good game, man. We controlled it for the first half. Man, we lost it in a quarter. Third quarter they came out and they beat us. They beat us 22-12. in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And then we didn't do the things. I didn't do the things necessary to put our kids in position to be as successful as they could be.
Yeah.
You know, so that falls on me, man. It sucked.
Good learning experience, though. I mean,
oh, incredible learning experience.
And it's good, like, you know, a lot of coaches that you talk to, you know, don't always have the humility to say, that was my bad. Maybe we could have done this, and that's on me. All right? They'll look for other things, but so when a coach can say that about himself, you know, it only makes him better, you know?
Man, you know, but the thing about it, man, I also know how hard it was to get there. You know, like, I know how hard it was to get there, man. And see, man, who says that I'll ever get the chance to do it again?
Yeah, it's tough.
You know, that's the thing that I'm thinking about. I'm like, man, you know, will I ever get that chance again? I mean, I believe that I will. I know I'm working my butt off to get to that point again, but same time, like, who knows? You know, yep. And see, and it would have been crazy too, because I think about this, and I was there in San Antonio to support Coach G and his Timberview team, who put us out. But, you know, again, we're close in our district, man. The coaches are, and I was going to root for those kids like crazy, you know, hope that they go and pull it out. It would have been the game when everything shut down. It would have been the same game right there, getting ready to come onto the floor, man. That would have been the game that got shut down.
Coach Herb Jackson, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
How we doing, Coach?
I hear you loud and clear. Just fine. Just trying to be a blessing.
Sure. Kind of see you kind of blurry. I think you got a background going, but kind of not really.
Something's going on here. I don't know. I haven't used this in a while since school's been out. But it should be a clear. I don't know what's going on here. Let's see.
That cleared up.
That's right.
No.
There you go.
How's it going, Coach Jackson? I happen to like your last name, brother.
You know, I like yours too, man. It's a famous name.
I agree, man.
Gives me a couple perks.
Coach, I guess I'll call you Herb. I mean, if I say Coach Jackson, I think you both are going to respond.
No problem, man. No problem.
You guys, have y'all met before in the past, or first time?
That's first time.
Never met Coach Jackson before.
First time.
But you know of Coach Jackson, correct?
I do, absolutely.
I hope for some good things, man. I try not to do anything bad in public.
No, it's you know, it's one of those things. Coach Todd Howie.
Oh, Todd Howie, okay.
Right. So again, Coach Howie spoken about you to me before. Coach Howie hired me to be a middle school coach in 2008. Gave me my first job. I said, "Oh, come on, Todd, you killing me, brother."
So that was football or basketball position? Oh, basketball.
Basketball. Yeah, no, I don't do outdoors. Yeah.
Don't tell nobody too loud now. Especially Todd, he was a baseball and football.
Baseball, yep, baseball, football. I taught both of his sons.
Okay.
Preston and Hunter, my dudes. I actually just talked to Preston last week. Actually, man, he out there in D.C., man, doing his whole Capitol Hill lawyer stuff right now, man.
Okay. Uh-huh. And you're presently where? Are you in San Antonio now?
No, sir. I am in Burleson Centennial High School, and just south of Fort Worth.
Oh, man. Hey.
Yes,
okay. You up there with the big fellas? Dallas.
Hey, man, I like to consider myself one of the big fellas.
Well, hey, you are now. You are now. So, hey, congrats. I guess it's in order there.
Thank you very much.
2 years? I mean, we'll kind of touch on your coaching journey here in a bit, but how many years have you been there at Centennial? Couple? 2?
This is going to my third.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just finished my second, going to my third.
Nice. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you both taking some time out to talk and talk hoops and talk life and about your journeys and whatnot. I think what coaches do and bring to our society, it's a beautiful thing, the relationships that coaches are able to build and the lives they're able to impact. I know in the article we just read in the newspaper about Coach Jackson, it talks a lot about, just the impacts he's made on the lives of his players, and it's a beautiful thing. How you guys holding up during this whole COVID thing? I know like in the beginning, it was kind of nobody knew what was going on, and then they shut us down, and now they're reopening it again. Now it seems like people are getting sick again, and just from your side and your perspective, what have you been doing to stay busy, stay sane?
For me personally, our thing is I've been doing a lot of personal reading and trying to gear up for this new position that I've just recently been accepted within our district. Still head boys basketball coach, but now also in Burleson ISD, I'm one of two what they call leadership and culture coaches that we're adding to our district. So I've been trying to gear up as much as I possibly can and trying to kind of get some form of order, as well as working our strength and conditioning camp. We haven't been able to be in our gym yet. Our gym, we can't open our gym until the 29th, which we may not, the way things are going, be able to open it up or not. But yeah, no, that's all I've been doing really, and hanging out with the family.
So. As far as myself, the last aspect that you stated, hanging out with family, enjoying family a lot more. Being a head coach takes a lot of your time. Even in the summertime, sometimes it's so tiresome because you're, strength and conditioning, but at the same time, as far as basketball, where you're in leagues or tournaments, or you're hosting a tournament, or those type of things. I know like Summer League, we usually, my gym is one of those gyms that they use. So it keeps us busy in the evening. So again, like I said, just being able to enjoy family a lot more. As you know, I have retired. So again, spending a lot of time with family and grandkids. Well, I'm $100 short today. So it's gonna take some. It's something that I'll learn to love a little bit more. Not being accustomed to doing it so much, but enjoying family. So I like that part. Enjoying family.
Well, retirement, Coach. I mean, you announced it not too long ago. Let's talk a little bit about the feelings behind it. What are you feeling? How was it informing your staff and your players and things of that nature?
Coach, I tell you what, retirement, man, it's not as easy as people think it is. Just making that announcement, trying to make that announcement. I think I've been trying to make that announcement for the last 2 years. But because you fall in love with certain kids in a community, in a school, it makes it harder for you to do such thing as a retirement. And I can't tell you how much I struggle with that night after night. And my wife looked at me and she said, "Hey, that's between you and them. I'm not going to be in the middle of that. You make the decision and I'll live with it. And of course, eventually you're going to live with it as well." So it's tough when you love them. You're always going to love some kids, right? Yeah. Each group is a special group. And it's going to be a few of those kids that you just want to take home or you just fall more in love. Well, just like you guys program, and probably yours, Jackson, you're on the farm that your basketball family, when you really have that family, you're really attached to those guys. I mean, my guys call me day or night, shoot, and I'm sure you guys, Jackson, you're probably going to get to that point, but I know, Marcus, you're probably at that point now where those kids are going to call you at any time. And especially when they have a problem. When my kids found out that I was retired, I have phone calls, and I still get phone calls today. What's going on? How you doing, Coach? Let's go sit down and talk. Coach, how you doing? How you feel? What's going on? They thought that I had got fired. They fired me or something. I said, no. I retired. And that retired, part of that saying tired, well, I was tired. And I love the community. Don't get me wrong. I love the community. I love my kids. I love the school. I had to have loved it 36 years. Well, 31 years. Wife.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
I thank God. It's been a blessing, man. It's been a blessing.
Hey, Coach, just on my end, can you say that last part one more time? How many years? They kind of chopped up on my end.
Oh, at Burbank High School, 31 years. 2 years as assistant coach, 29 as head coach. But in that district, San Antonio Independent School District, 36 years. 5 years at a middle school. Cooper Middle School at that. So.
Hey, just for perspective, guys, I just turned 36 years old last week.
All right, thank you for making me feel old. I'm 60 years old, and I'm proud to say it. 60 years old.
But you're, and we'll kind of touch on this in a little bit, but you stay in good shape and you take care of yourself, and you're still in good physical shape. You don't look 60 years old, not at all, Coach.
Thank you. I'll take
that Jackson blood, man.
And a blessing. Say what?
So it's that Jackson blood, man.
Oh. Well, it's Jackson blood, but the main thing is that Jesus blood.
Amen.
He keeps me in shape, keeps my mind sane.
Herb, can you do me a favor? I can kind of just see your eyes from time to time. Just kind of angled a little bit. Can't really see. I don't know if you see.
Every now and then I may have to take a break. My dog is here with me downstairs, and she's on guard. And we just had a postman came by and dropped off a letter. I had to run down and see what was going on.
Yeah.
But
there you go. Yeah, we can hear you. It's just sometimes we can just see the very top of
I'm trying to listen over here, and I'm trying to see what y'all doing here. Right, here you go. Okay.
You're the man. Real quick, this is really random, but I see you guys are both bald, and this is so random. So like,
it's a Jackson thing, man. It's a Jackson thing.
Amen, brother.
During this whole COVID thing, my wife's like, no, you don't need to go to a barber right now. I'll cut it for you. And I'm not bald, but I keep it short. Yeah. But now she's annoyed of cutting my hair, so now she's telling me I just need to go all the way down and get a razor and go. And I'm looking at you two guys like I'm this close to being forced to make the move because my wife.
I'll tell you what, I'm very fortunate that my wife was a beautician before she was an RN, so she cuts my hair. She gets tired of looking at it, so she said, "Oh, let me cut your hair." I said, "Okay, no problem." Save me $20 to $25.
Hey, so that for me, I've been bald now since for 6 years. Started going bald at 31. I'm 37 now, but the way I see it, though, man, like it saved me so much money.
Yeah,
it saved me a ton of money.
For real. A lot of money. I agree.
If you see me on the next episode with no hair, you know why. You guys convinced me.
Hey, there you go, man.
Let's talk a little bit.
It saved you time in the morning anyway, Mark.
Yeah. Well, I saw this little contraption that you just kind of, you don't even need a razor, none. You just knock it out in a minute and a half, or so it says.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about your childhood. Where'd you grow up? Any influences in your life that kind of led you down this path of education and wanting to coach?
For me, again, I grew up in Midland, Texas. Grew up, born, raised Midland, Texas. I had a chance to kind of move all over the place a little bit. Lived places Chicago, Detroit, Buffalo. But in terms of my influences to go into education, I was headed to law school before I even decided to get into the whole educational side of it. Worked as a probation officer out of college for 2.5 years. And it just kind of happened. One of my dad's fraternity brothers was somewhere up in the higher admin, over secondary schools in Midland ISD. And he just said, "Hey, come coach, come teach and coach." And he didn't really take no for an answer. So got into middle school. Todd Howe we hired, like I was mentioning earlier, at Goddard Junior High School. Started working there, worked 2 years at Goddard. Rosalind Lawrence, who was a head girls basketball coach at Midland Lee, Needed an assistant. She ended up bringing me on. I couldn't get a job on the boys' side, right, which is crazy to me. That I couldn't get a job on the boys' side coaching boys basketball. So I ended up going coaching girls. I coached girls for 5 years with Rosalind Lawrence, and and then from there, ended up going working with one of my mentors, James Johnson, who's at Aldine Eisenhower High School. Went over there, worked with him for 2 years at Eisenhower High School. Met some incredible kids, incredible people that pushed me. Coach Johnson really pushed me, showed me how to become a head basketball coach. And then, man, all of a sudden, Bob Shipley gave me a call. Belton Tech in Belton, America. And ended up getting a job at Belton. That was my first head coaching job. Was in Belton, Texas, Belton High School. Was there for 2 years, and then I came on up here to Burleson and took over the reins at Centennial High School. Man, we've had a little bit of success in the process. So.
Regional finals this year, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Coach Jackson? Oh, Herb Jackson?
Oh, man. So, how'd I get into education? I'll tell you what, I would probably say it was my destiny to be an educator. I used to play around with my sisters and brothers. I was a teacher. We had a little chalkboard, and we played like we're teaching, like we in school. Then from there, in high school, man, I got kind of fed up. I was on the varsity basketball team. Julian Trevino, he was my principal at the time. Ended up going up to the administrative or HR. And I left and went to Austin College. And next thing I know, I came back home to see what was going on. As I was playing basketball, I played in Mexico and went overseas for a little bit. But he told me, he said, hey, when you get through messing around, playing around, doing whatever you're doing, come back here and I got a job for you. Because he knew me. That's where we talked. Because I know there was one time when I was in high school, I think my junior year, I wanted to quit basketball because I was frustrated. I had a coach that was very disciplined. I don't know if you know him, but Ronald Lord, I know you don't know him, Jackson, but you may know him, Marcus. Ronald Lord, he was the varsity coach after Doc Middleton went up to the athletic office. And he set me down, the principal, Julian Trevino, set me down and said, hey, Herb, you're making a big mistake. You are a leader. You don't understand you're a leader. But I was so frustrated for whatever the reason was. And he talked me into stand on the team. And next thing I know, I was recruited to St. Philip Junior College. Did an excellent job there. I guess all you need to have is somebody to believe in you. I think the bottom line, what I'm saying. Next thing I know, well, I got through doing all that out there, playing basketball stuff. I came back, went to Julian Trevino. He kept his word. He said, hey, where you want to coach at? You want to coach in a middle school or do you want to coach in a high school? Well, me being young at the time, I said, man, I don't think I'll be able to handle no high school kids that are close to my age. Man, no, let me go down to middle school. So we went down to middle school and had a ball. Enjoyed it. Teaching Texas history. And next thing I know, doing a good job with the basketball program, Rudy Bernal was the head coach there. He said, man, I would want to bring you up here, but I don't have a position open right now. I said, that's fine. I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing here until something opens up around the district. So the next thing I know, Art Gonzalez. He told Art Gonzalez, which was another head basketball coach at Burbank High School. So he asked me, do I want to come up or do I want to wait for Lanier to open up a position? I said, no, I'll go to Burbank, no problem. So went up there for 2 years. Next thing I know, Art was leaving, going to Highlands High School. Just being in the right place at the right time, right? Yep. So right. Next thing I didn't know if I was ready or not, being in my second year in high school. But my first year on JV, we did pretty good. The second year, we went 22 and I think 7 or so. So the kids were already, they was all geared up, giving them confidence, telling them the system that I was going to run. that Art allowed me to run. And then next time I was the head coach. We finished 3rd place in district. And those kids still around me today. If you see some of those pictures on Facebook, some of those guys, those were some of the guys on my first varsity basketball team.
31 years
in my last game that I coached.
Wow.
So other than that, that's history. From that point on, man, been at Burbank High School. I was to retire at Burbank High School. And I tell you, I can't tell you how many principals I come through or how many head football coaches I came through. But like I said, I was blessed to be in the right community, at the right school, in the right district.
It's it's just you're a staple in that community. Growing up as a kid, Burbank and McCullum kind of border each other, and so as a kid playing against Burbank, I already knew who Coach Jackson was, and then coming up in the ranks as a coach, there he is, still at Burbank doing what he does, and so I mean you're just as much as Burbank is as anything you could think of. You think of Burbank, I always think Coach Jackson, right?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Talk a little bit about some of the coaches that have influenced your life along the way, as far as maybe just relationships or people you look up to in the profession that have helped mold you into the coach you are right now.
Well, again, I go back, if you're talking to me, as far as me, I go back to my high school coach, which was Ronald Lord. He was a disciplinarian. Matter of fact, let me take a step back. Let me take a step back. Before I get to my coach, my dad. My dad, he was in the military, all right, Air Force, and he was very strict. He was strict that he wanted to make sure that I did what I needed to do to be successful, a successful man and a father, as well as a husband. So that discipline carries on. And I tell you what, and let me talk to you, Jackson, and probably you too. You got to have a special woman in your corner. Yeah. To be a coach.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, I have a very special one.
And you got to keep her. And we have those long nights scouting, and then you go to the playoff, those extra games, man. You understand? But I'll tell you what, I have a special one. She does great. She's a competitor herself. I hate playing against her myself because she hates to lose. She hates to lose. She hates losing just as much as I do. So when I come home, I have learned throughout my career to don't bring it home. Don't bring it home. Your life with your wife would be a lot better. If you start bringing that at home, man, I tell you what, she'll start looking at you crazy. Start looking at you a little funny. But yeah, so my dad, Ronald Lord, my varsity high school coach, and then Plummer, my senior college coach. And then when I got to the coaching ranks, then I had Art Gonzalez. He did quite a few things that I like as far as organization part of it. All right. Coach, he told me, hey, Coach, you definitely got to have a contract with these guys. You got to make sure that you monitor them. So those type of things to kind of keep the program smooth. Parent nights, just faculty versus seniors, those type of things. Keep people involved positively. Let them know who you are, not just a basketball coach, but also a people person. Be able to communicate with other people and so forth. So I learned a lot of things from Art Gonzalez. And then Rudy Bernal, there's some things I learned from Rudy Bernal as well, and the way he approaches things. And again, I take positive things from each one of those individuals to make me a better person, a better coach for my community that I teach or coach. Another person would have been, I can't think of the name right now. But I'll tell you what, my principal, Drew Intervention, to be able to step out of his realm of things, principal, come down to a student, but somehow he was watching over me. I tell you what, God always keeps somebody in your path to make sure that you get where you need to be, whether you know it or not. And I never thought I would be where I am today without him. So those are some influential people that I've come across. I'll tell you what, I had some pretty good assistant coaches too. whenever you have an assistant coach that can become a head coach, you're doing a hell of a job.
Mm.
So keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to get somebody just as good as you are. Coach just as good as you are, just as knowledgeable as you are. I like to have those guys that are going to refresh me.
For sure.
Oh, you got to get another idea. Oh, great. Let's go with that idea, man. I'm not trying to be God.
Yeah.
If you got something that's going to work, that's going to help these kids, then hey, by all means, let's do it. Coach Vasquez. I took a chance with Coach Vasquez being on my campus. So that's what I'm talking about. Somebody that's a little bit more, that's just as knowledgeable as you are. You don't have to be more than you, but just as knowledgeable as you are. And if they understand what the kid's all about, that's the key. That's the key.
Stuff. My assistant coach right now, he just got a head coaching job out of town, and so I'm happy for him. But he was kind of that fit, and he very knowledgeable, brought a lot to the table. And then you look at Wendell. I mean, Wendell, he was 4 years ago. I mean,
where'd he go? He went to Harlandale?
He went to the other side. Yeah, he went to Harlandale. He's a
Harlandale. Okay, yeah.
Coach. Yeah.
The girls side?
Girls side, head girls coach.
I wish him luck, man.
Well, those assistant coaches that are super knowledgeable. I mean, some people can kind of steer away from that, but I think it's a valuable asset. And
it challenges you.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it challenges you.
Completely agree.
Yeah. And I had Randall over there at my school, remember, before he went over there to you.
Yeah.
He was one of my freshman coaches.
He told me, man, Coach Jackson, we played in the faculty senior game, and he's over here saying, no, you can't play. He's trying to dunk on all these kids.
Not me, dunk me. But you know what? With some of these kids, man, they come out of the woodworks, but then they're in OCI, not passing their classes.
Yep.
Haven't been in school for a while. So the principal or the administrator always told me, say, hey, make sure you have a limit on these guys because they're in OCI, they're not playing. Mm-hmm. If they're missing school, we're talking about seniors taking care of their responsibility. You want to do this, but you're not taking care of your responsibility in the classroom or at school. Mm-hmm. This is for people that are following directors, who are following the procedures, who are good citizens. And even for my basketball player, hey, if you still owe time or date or you've been late or acting a fool, hey, no, you're not gonna play. It's for people that are doing well. That'd be one less player I got to worry about then. But no, we have fun with it though. We have fun with it. It was good deal. We was gonna have one this past year after spring break, but unfortunately, somebody else had other ideas. COVID-19.
Yeah. As for me, in terms of coaches and mentors and things that I've been able to have as a player growing up, I had a couple of different mentors. One by the name of Cleveland Phelps. His son right now is really blowing up, named Zurich Phelps. That plays at Duncanville. Cleve just was really instilled that fire and being able to really go out and compete and love a basketball for me at an early age. And then, of course, a high school basketball coach, Jack Stevenson, at Midland High School. Coach Stevenson, man, just showed me, man, just that keeping the gym open, can really help save lives. Mine being one of them for sure, along with many other guys. And then then when you look at it as once I got into the professional ranks of it, Rosalind Lawrence showed me actually what it looks like to actually be a head coach in terms of the importance of organization. Mm-hmm. Then Coach James Johnson, he's a huge mentor, great guy for me still to this day, still an incredible resource. He showed me what it was like to be a head coach and what it takes to be able to win basketball games. How do you win basketball games as a coach, as well as he's played a big father role for me as well. Done a great job with me there. Let's see. The guys within the profession, Cornelius Mitchell, one of my best friends in the industry. I look up to him a great deal. He's one that I consider a mentor to me personally, even though, again, I have to compete with him directly in our league. But he's helped me every step of the way in terms of how to interview, what they look for in interviews, you know, how best to organize your portfolios, all these little bitty things, you know, but he's always shared a ton of information with me, and helped guide me throughout a lot of different things. He's still a sounding board for me to this day. Another good friend, Pete Abbott. Again, I consider him a mentor, just so knowledgeable about so many different things as well. Pete is at Southwestern down there, Legacy, Southwestern Legacy.
Yep.
Just so knowledgeable, man, so passionate. And he's one that oftentimes I call and he's just like, dude, keep the main thing the main thing. Like, you know, you worried about too much, man. Like just stay locked in and be who you are. And if they're either gonna like it or they're not. And so be it. You know what I mean? Like if you know Pete is unapologetic about how confident he is and who he is, and he just kind of reinforces those kinds of things to me. And then another mentor that I consider a mentor now to me is Gerald Sledge at Keller Central. And Coach Sledge for me is like almost like a spiritual advisor every time he talks to you. You know what I mean? And he just has these ways of thinking that simplifies everything. Very, very faith-based. And very, very kid-centered in terms of his approach and his thinking. And, you know, and he just always just tell me, he says, you know, and he calls me T. He says, T, yeah, I love you. Just continue to push through, you know, and he just, and that's the thing that he uses for his basketball program is this push through model. And he just always, every time I talk to him, he says, you know, little brother, I love you. You know, just continue to push through. You're doing a good job. And, but no, those are guys that have mentored me in this thing, and some are almost all of them are still coaching, except for Coach Stevenson. So
that's good. It's good stuff. It's important to have those guys in our life too. I mean, it's hard to get to where we want to go without positive mentors and people helping us along the way. It's a good thing, and regardless of whether you're 2 years in or 30 years in, you still keep those bonds and relationships.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about, you know, the big word you hear everybody always talking about is culture. You know, just for you guys, you know, it looks different though in every school, right? You know, for you guys, you know, what was important about, you know, those keys that you wanted to keep within your teams, you know, whether it's Centennial or whether it's at Burbank High School, what were some of the non-negotiable things that you felt were important for the culture and climate of your program?
For me personally, one of the biggest things that we talk about in terms of the culture of our program is, and it's going to sound weird, you know, but it's being driven as an individual. You know, that's huge to me, is to have guys that are extremely individually motivated to continue to get better. To find ways to better themselves not just as basketball players, but as humans, right, and young men. So that's a big part of what we want going forward into our culture. And a big part of that we stress in terms of it is knowing who you are, knowing what you want, and knowing how to try to figure out a plan to get there. So a big part of our culture is goal setting. It's huge in terms of our program is goal setting. And strengthening the individual. And we're talking individual goals. I'm not talking anything team goal related at all. It's all about individual goals and what is it? What are you trying to do? What are you willing to do? What are you going to do to accomplish your individual goals? And in the process, you know, we believe that if you can accomplish your individual goals, then it's going to help us as a team anyway. So that's the biggest. You know, that's the foundation of our program. That, and then we also say, you know, relationships over championships, you know, is big in terms of our culture as well. Making sure then there's a relatability factor with myself and my players and my coaching staff. That there's a healthy level of trust and respect and accountability between all of us, so that we're able to best push each other towards to accomplishing all of the goals which that we want to accomplish.
What about you, Herb?
I like the accountability. Bring something to the table. Now, what I mean by that is we have spring, summer, fall. You know, don't come in thinking that you have a spot and you ain't there.
Yeah.
So accountability, and then we have the goal setting. The team thing is the big picture. But if you bring something to the table, if you're a guard, you better be able to handle the ball. You better be able to control things. If you're a shooter, don't shoot 15 shots and you only make 2. I mean, you ain't been working on. So usually I tell them certain percentages they need to have by the time they come back. So that's what you need to be working on. So free throws, hey, you need to be shooting at least 90%. If you're a 3-point shooter, you better be shooting somewhere close to 40%.
Yeah.
You know, those type of things. Layups, I don't want you missing layups. Shoot, we miss too many layups, we lose the game. Accountability. You got to put it back on their shoulder. I try to put it back on their shoulder. This is what you need to be doing. Parents, this is what we're looking at. We interview each one of the kids before they leave in the summer, or at the end of the basketball season. So this is what you need to be working on. This is what you need to improve on. Your accountability. I'm counting on you to do this. Your team is counting on you to do this. I'm counting on you to do this. So these are our goals for each individual. So you bring it back to the team. Then we have team goals. So if you're able to do what you're supposed to do, then we have a chance for playoff and beyond. But if you can't do that, then don't come in looking at me talking about this is your spot. It's not your spot. This is not your spot on varsity. We talking about varsity now. Freshman and JV is a little bit different because then we're building relationships then.
Yes,
freshman and JV. Varsity, we building relationships. You already know who I am by now. Get your act together. Get your act together. So yes, I understand what you're saying, TJ. But hey, yeah, I like the goals and so forth. But we give them individual goals. We give them accountability. We give them hopefully they're able to communicate with me as well as their counterparts to hey, let's go do this. But like I said, in the summertime, man, we do so much work, man. I can't tell you guys how much it feels not to have to worry about a tournament. Trying to get these guys to pay money for a league. I'm trying to get them to get their butts up in the morning and get up here for strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
Oh man. Woo. Oh.
That's free.
But yeah, that's what I did. That's what we did at Burbank High School in our frame of things, and it worked for the most part. It did. So,
all right, I'm playing TJ as well. All right. So I'm
sorry, TJ. I mean Jackson. I mean.
No, it's all good, man. They call me TJ, so it works.
That'll make it a little bit more. Okay.
But just to paint a picture, in San Antonio summer ball, Burbank High School, for as long as I can remember, has always been one of the hosting schools for the city summer league. So for his whole career, probably 30 plus every summer, you're having 4, 5, 6 games twice a week, that you're hosting.
Yep.
It's a lot of work on top of your own strength and conditioning and your own summer workouts for your boys. So Coach Jackson lived at Burbank High School, I'm sure.
Sometimes I felt like I did. Sometimes I felt like I did. My wife would call me, you getting dinner out there, right? I say, yes, I am. Somebody's bringing it to me. I want. But yeah, man, it was some long hours, but I wouldn't trade it in for the world. I tell you, it was a good community. And like I said, sometimes they were bringing food for their kids, and sometimes they're bringing for me as well. So, coach, you need something, you want something, there you go. I say, well, what you getting? I said, well, what do you want, coach? So I made it easy for them, man. My favorite spots are Whataburger and Bill Miller's right there by Burbank. So they already knew where to go.
Hey, to touch on that, Coach Jackson, and both of you, you're 37 years old. TJ, still in pretty decent shape. Coach Jackson, strong as an ox. I mean, so you look at the profession and how healthy is it? I mean, how important is it to maintain your physical health so you can still, function at a high level at your job, right? Because we get busy. It's so easy to get consumed in our job and then pick up your drive-through on the way home, a Whataburger, however many nights you want. And it's just more convenient that way. But if you do that too much, you're putting your own health at risk. And so,
Yeah.
just some advice for a younger coach. What would you tell someone about the importance of taking care of yourself?
You know what? And it's easy for you to lose your mind in your job and what you're doing and so forth. But I say Waterburg and Bill Miller's, but I tell you what, a lot of those days were salads from Bill Miller's and Whataburger. And also Subway on the other side there. So yes, I was at Burbank High School, but it doesn't mean I was eating a lot of tacos. Doesn't mean I was eating a lot of tacos. Matter of fact, one day I got elected Taco Tuesday or something, whatever they called it.
Yeah.
And they brought in about 5 boxes of tacos.
That's not the news. That's not.
Well, I forgot what they called it. But are you gonna eat all these tacos? Heck no, man. I was passing on a box for the secretaries, box for the female coaches, male coaches, and I gave some to my players. I think I probably got about 1 or 2 out of that whole deal. 5 boxes of tacos, man. But I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, because sometimes our kids, that's all they have to eat. But you're talking about kids, they're gonna be able to digest and overcome that stuff. Yeah. But me, at my age and as I got older, you get smarter on what you eat and what you put in your body. Also, sometimes when my guys go in to work out and the weights and so forth, well, I'm right there with them. I may get in one of those groups and lift, but at the same time, keeping an eye out for what's going on inside the area, and also closing that area off so that we don't have spectators coming in there and messing around and so forth. But when you've been at Burbank as long as I have, man, the kids know when they can come in, when they want to ask you first before they come in.
Yeah.
We're in a private session right here. This is practice. Now, maybe after school you can do it, but not right now. So it may be one guy short or something. Well, I'll jump in that group and bench or leg extension or squat or whatever we're doing at that time. So that gave me opportunity to kind of keep myself together as well. But at the same time, I have a membership at certain gyms and so forth. I get my happy butt in there. And sometimes I am tired, but I have to do it. Otherwise, some coaches look. So now, I wish I was able to run up and down the court as much as Marcus does, but I'm not able to do that right now. But I'm walking and trying to stay in shape, stay in touch as much as possible. Again, I thank God for giving me the blessing that He has given me, and I hope He continues. I don't want him to stop now just because I'm 60. So now I got to rechannel my mind to do some things that are going to keep me healthy as well, and of course my doctor appointments and all the other good stuff that you have to do to maintain your body. So, guys, please do that. It's hard, but I tell you what, you can get lost in coaching. You can get lost in coaching, man. Next thing, right now, I'm 250.2. I just weighed myself last night. So, oh, God dang. Yeah, I'm usually around 240 to 250. So every now and then I got to just cut down on some of the beef. And just watch yourself. Just watch yourself, gentlemen. It's easy to get lost in the mix, man.
Yeah, for me being a younger coach, I still get called out. Hey, check up, old man. Come check up. So it's kind of important, man. That you kind of try to keep your tools tight. Which I mean, for me at this point, I'd broken an ankle last year, so it put me out, set me back for a year, and I still haven't gotten all the flexibility back in it. So me getting up and down and trying to be explosive is something that I don't even try to anymore. I try to go get my cardio in, on a quick little treadmill run. And then other than that is, trying to sharpen it out there on the floor, being as actively coaching as I possibly can. And then, of course, jumping in when it comes down to shooting things and things that can also help get me to break a sweat. And a lot of one-on-one shooting stuff, and that stuff gets pretty intense sometimes because any of my kids see this, they know, hey, still undefeated, right? In the coaching, here we go. In the shooting games, I'm still undefeated. No, that's big. And then also, too, like my lead assistant, Blake Dunson, man, he is a health nut, right? So he comes in and he says, hey, Jack, let's go. Come on, let's go. Hey, we got 30 minutes before practice. Hey, let's go get a quick lift in. Come on, let's just go get a quick lift in. Hey, let's go get a quick run in, Jack. Let's go get a quick run in before practice. You know, mind you, we're at school every morning at 6 o'clock. So he's like, yo, let's go get a quick run in. Let's go. Hey, we got 30 minutes. Let's go get a quick run in. And so that also kind of motivates me too, because he's a young dude. He 25, 26 years old, you know. So, and he's just like, no, Jack, come on, let's go. Let's get a quick lift in. Let's go. We're lifting light, a quick light lift, man. Let's go. You know, and my light versus his light is totally different. You know, he's like a light lift, man. He said he had weights on. I'm like, hold on, bro.
Well, Coach Jackson said he's going to jump in these groups if there's shorter guy on the bench. I'm thinking Coach Jackson's not lifting what those kids are lifting. There's no way.
Oh, no, I'm lifting more than what they're lifting. But it's a nice little tune-up and so forth. I like what you're saying, TJ. What I do is when we have shorter guy, I like working against my post people. I like roughing them up. Hey, get your butt up. Get them goddamn nuts, goddamn. Come on, let's go. Their asses up, shoot. So when we go and play against guys a little bit bigger than us, they're already Coach Woods, you know, my freshman coach, Coach Woods.
Yes, sir.
Woods, get in there, bang them up. Let's go. Get them ready. We got pads and everything else. We trying to get them ready, boy.
Coach, you're not a small guy.
Get yourself together. But weights, no, I don't think. Well, there's always one or two that lift just as much as I lift. So I'll try to get with that group as much as I can. But for the most part, I'm probably teaching as well as trying to lift as well, because some of them don't do it correctly because they're not accustomed to doing the bench, you know, or they're not accustomed to when they do the squats, getting lower as they're supposed to get, you know. So you know that coaching thing. I'm sure it's not. And my wife just walked in. Yeah, it's fun though. It's fun, and the kids see that you're normal. I mean, you're not God. He is reachable.
Yeah,
you know? And that's the main thing I want my kids to know, that hey, you can talk to me. We're gonna have fun. I like to go sit down and eat with them. You know, we have special days that we go out and eat and together as a team. And JB, can we go too? Yes, you can go too. You're part of the family. Come on. But just to hear what they're talking about and what they're saying and so forth. And every now and then they'll throw some family things in there as well. So those are some good things too, Jackson. Every now and then, I'm not saying you're not doing that, but you know, if you're not, it's probably a good time. Every now and then, have a little meal away from school. I tell you what, we were able to go to Corpus Christi in my tenure, to go and spend a couple nights in Corpus Christi, playing at the Tulsa Midway prior to Texas tournament. And we had a ball, but they understood that we was there to win first. But at the same time, hey, if you win, we get to hang out a little bit. You lose, we're gonna be in a hotel. So what you want to do? What you want to do? Well, eventually, they always like to win, and we go sit down in a restaurant. I let them choose a restaurant every now and then. I give them some choices. But it's a good morale deal. It's a great morale deal. Get away from home, get away from mom and dad, sisters and brothers, and just us, the fellas, you know. So. That's another idea I love that I did. So, I'm sorry. Y'all go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. Jackson, this is great stuff.
I can listen to Coach Jackson all day, man.
Let's kind of go back a little bit and dig into your memory banks and most memorable games that you've ever been a part of. It could have been as a player or as a coach or whatever, but that you were directly a part of. Most memorable games.
For me, there's several, but this one in particular, because it was it was groundbreaking for Belton High School. We ended a 15-year playoff drought in a game against Harker Heights. We're both tied in fourth place together. So the winner is going to the playoffs and the loser isn't. And we're playing them on our home floor. Yep, we're playing them on our home floor.
Ooh.
Yep, and I mean, it was a dogfight, man. I mean, you know, Coach Bobbitt had his guys rolling, man, and fighting like crazy, and that game ended up going into 3 overtimes.
Oh man.
Yeah, and so in the third overtime, and teams and guys that know, you know, guys that know me know that I I'm a believer in the pressure system, and believe in pushing out and trapping and doing some different things all over the place. And my guys had played. I mean, I hadn't subbed much. These guys are, have played, almost 7 quarters of basketball. But couple of seconds of dying down, we're down 1. We're pressing out, and all of a sudden, man, we get these dudes trapped in a perfect trap, and we rotate it over so beautifully, and we get this steal with 6-7 seconds left. Get that thing, pushes it, lays it up at the buzzer, and in triple overtime, we beat Harker Heights to end a 15-year playoff drought for Belton High School. That was extremely memorable.
I'm still just erupting. I'm sure it was.
Oh man, it was electric, man. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. Other game that I think about for us is that, of course, me personally, I think about my very first playoff win, which was against Fort Worth Southwest, which was year before last, was at the 18-19 season. Well, nothing crazy really happened too much, but again, it was my very first playoff win as a head coach. And then, of course, this last year, man, I mean, every game that we played, we at Centennial High School, our school's only been open for 10 years. And this year, we won our very first district title. We beat Timberview twice in our league to overtop them. And then, of course, we make that run all the way to the regional tournament, and play in a regional final and have a chance to win it. I mean, we had a chance to win that game. It was 64-62 was the final score with the ball in our hands.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it was electric. It was absolutely incredible. And, so those things, I mean, I could go into detail about each one of those games in that process, but, those are just a couple that I really, really think about a lot.
What about you, Herb?
Oh, man. When he was talking, man, I just thought about, golly, Kerrville, Bernie. I mean, which one? Sam Houston. Let's take Kerrville. I take my team up, Burbank High School. You know my makeup, Marcus. Okay, we go up to Kerrville. So, okay, so Burbank, he thinking that we're not going to be fired up. So I get in there, I fire up my kids and so forth. We are fired up. I mean, we are pumped. We're pumped. I mean, it's standing room only at Kerrville High in Kerrville, Texas.
Kerrville's a tough place to play, in case you didn't know, TJ. It can get right.
Okay.
Standing room only. I walk in there. Here come my guys. As a matter of fact, freshmen go in first, then the JV, and here comes the varsity. And here I come. I'm the last one to walk in. And he's talking all this noise. I said, okay, no problem. So I take my guys calmly, take them to the varsity, take them to the locker room, and get them fired up. Okay, now, are we going to be their main course or what? Let's get ready to play. Let's get ready to play. I don't want no doubts when we leave out of this goddamn gym that they had a battle. And my battle is to win. And we beat their butt. Just to make it sharp. The crowd caught the stands, and it was congratulating my guys and shaking my hands. Well, Coach, you did a good job. You did a hell of a job. I said, well, of course, it's my kids. They responded. Okay, if you like them, what about Bernie, Texas?
Yeah. I
go into Bernie. All right. And again, my makeup for my team. Late. I like playing against Bernie. But they had some big guys. Boy, I tell you what. We got in their butt. I throw some traps, some press just like you did. And I'll tell you what, my guys responded. We went in overtime and ended up beating them by 2 points, I believe. But we was on again, fired up. They were expecting to win. We disappointed them. These are games. As a matter of fact, I was looking at that game the other day. One of my guys called me and wanted the tape. I said, okay, I'll get you a copy of it. And I started sitting there looking. I had chills coming down on me I get all over again. Okay, another one, Sam Houston. Sam Houston's Sam Houston High School, Dickey. My first time I beat them. And it was like I won a championship or something. But to beat them was a greater feat. We end up finishing second place in district twice, and Burbank hadn't beaten Sam Houston in many years. I don't know how many exact, but like you, I have so many games, man, that I'll remember for the rest of my life. And you know, it's man. South San versus Burbank playoff, the right to go to regional.
Oh man.
Playing against Durbin.
Gary Durbin,
man. We get down to we up by 10 or so. One of my guys go crazy. What are you doing, dude? Open up, meaning spread the floor. I got some guards that can go around you. And this fool did something or another. But we had a chance to win the game. We put the ball in the hole as time goes off the clock. All right. A guy from South San goes underneath my guy as he's putting the ball in the hole. So what did the referee call?
Huh? No, nothing.
Ball game. Charge.
No charge.
Oh man.
He called charge and take the ball out of the hoop. South San wins. What I have on my hand. Whew. That's one game I cannot forget either, because my kids, as well as myself, had tears for the rest of it. The right to go to a region.
Yeah.
That's one of the chances we have the right to go to a region. Another thing that I would remember, I never forget, is all 4 of our district teams meeting each other for the right to go to a region as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
That just happened to us this last year. It was at all four district teams. We had to beat each other to go to the regional tournament, and then 2 district teams played each other to go to the state tournament.
There you go. And I thought that was magnificent. That's something I'll never forget either, that we all came back. We went out to different areas, different parts of the state, and came back together in order to have a right to go to the next level. Man, I said, God dang. But that was great. There was a lot of great games. Of course, in my career, you're going to get a lot more coming up, Jackson. But those are the games, just a few of the games that I remember. Man, that's a lot of them, man. I said, God, it's amazing. It'll stay with me for the rest of my life. And, of course, I got tons of pictures, man, of different people. And I was very fortunate that my nephew played for me as well. So,
oh, nice.
That's something I'll never forget as well, because with him, we had the right to go to regional as well. And he was all region. So, and I had a chance to get him to college, so that I'll never forget that. I played a little bit in his life in order to get him to where he needed to be. Went to college, and next thing I know, he has 5 kids now. Forget the degree. He got 5 kids. I said, boy, I think you got a degree. You got 5 kids. Well, he didn't get them all at one time, but now I mentioned his 5 kids. Beautiful kids.
Studying biology.
Anatomy, some got that. But anyway, that's just a few of my memories that kind of stand out right now. So,
I can imagine those, 30 plus years in the same place. You probably got memories for forever that you can just keep going and going. So we appreciate you sharing some of those. It's good stuff.
Absolutely.
Going back to Tyvee, he actually just retired a couple of weeks ago also.
Did he? Oh, man.
He did.
Oh.
He retired, and he was there forever. And then Coach Gerlich retired a few weeks ago as well. And he was at
Coach Gerlich retired?
He retired also. Seguin, yep.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what, I met Young, I met Young when I used to go to the Victoria tournament.
Uh-huh.
And he was at Centennial. I think it was Centennial.
Yep.
Centennial High School. That's when I first encountered him. All right. He had his guys all dressed up in black shooting shirts or warm-ups or whatever the case might be. The next thing I know, he was at Kerrville. So I went to a couple of his tournaments, played against him from time to time. And we used to battle.
Let's talk a little bit about all-time starting five by position NBA players. Starting five of all time.
Oh man, that's for me that's easy for me.
That's easy.
That's easy for me. Of course I go by position, point guard, starting point guard. Man, I go Isaiah Thomas, Detroit bad boy Isaiah Thomas. He's my favorite basketball player of all time. Okay. Growing up loving the Pistons. At the two, it's obvious. I mean, you go with Mike, but it's the obvious.
You said that?
Oh, keep going.
Oh, okay. So you go Michael Jordan at the two. The three for me, I'm T-Mac. Love Tracy McGrady. The four, San Antonio guys will love this, man. Timmy D.
Can't go wrong with Tim Duncan. Can't go wrong with Tim Duncan.
It did at center, and I'd be hard pressed not to be able to take a prime Shaquille O'Neal. So that's my five. Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan. Go ahead.
You look at it, a prime Shaquille O'Neal, right? Like in his very prime, like who in the world is going to stop that guy other than himself?
Because he was pushing the break.
I was talking to Coach Valenzuela and Coach Torres on one of these episodes because Coach Torres coached Shaq when he lived in town and an AAU team, and they won a national championship or whatever, and they were saying some of the things he would do as a high school kid, just crazy. And I was trying to say, like, you look at LeBron, one of the greatest athletes to ever walk this planet.
Ever, right.
But Shaq's got to be up there, too, as one of the greatest athletes. Peak prime Shaq, right? Not the really, really big version of Shaq. But
yeah, no, I totally agree.
Prime time Shaquille O'Neal, he's one of the greatest athletes ever. I mean, who's going to stop that dude from doing whatever the heck he wants to do on the floor?
Yeah.
And you see guys like Draymond talking about they could have guarded a guy like Shaq. I don't know how that even.
That is. The guy, when they start saying stuff like that, man, I'm like, yeah, you need to be some heavily drug tested. Right? Yeah, you be heavily drug tested. But yeah, that would be mine. Again, those are some of my favorite players to have watched. I would love to have been able to put Kobe in that mix, but you say about position, so.
Yeah, no, I got it. Herb?
Oh man, ain't so many of them that I've seen play, and even believe it or not, played against some of them too. But I'll take Houston center. I always start with the centers because I need somebody that's gonna be able to control that middle as much as possible, but also get the opponent fits. And I thought Olajuwon did a good job.
Amazing, yeah, he's amazing.
Incredible.
So I would take him, and of course there will be some people underneath him, real close, that you can take as well. Power forward. I tell you what, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Timmy Duncan. Yep. I like Duncan because of his basic skill, knowledge of the game. He's still around basketball now. I don't know if he's getting paid as much as he's getting now, used to get, but he's still around basketball right now. He's coaching and directing and so forth, etc. He's a leader, man, and he's not giving it up yet. So those two, Michael Jordan. All right, and the point guard, he is a little knucklehead, but I tell you what, he did a hell of a job. Leader, and right now you got to have the whole league probably pissed off at him. But I like Isaiah Thomas. as a point guard. My two guard, man, there's so many of those. And I don't want to forget Glove as a point guard. Man, because he's tough too. But then there's some others, KJ, Stockton. Man, there's so many of them that can do that job. I like Magic Johnson too. But hard nosed. I'm hurt and I'm still out there playing, that's Isaiah. What's my man that just retired, blonde, retired, shoots threes, had a great percentage. Played for Boston, played for Miami in the last couple teams that he played for. Still in pretty good goddamn shape. Probably could
Ray
come.
Allen?
Ray Allen, there you go.
Ray Allen, when he was young, that dude was a monster.
Man, tell me about it.
A monster. Super athletic, too.
Yeah, I think he gets
those be my five, but those, I mean, the release on his shot before you get there. Spurs experienced that in Miami.
We did. We did. Growing up, though, like, when I was younger, watching He Got Game in the very beginning, and he's just shooting by himself. I used to just sit there on rewind and just watch Ray Allen just shoot, and the clip would end and rewind it again. And he's just sitting there with Booger throwing him the pass, and he's just letting it fly. That's so pretty. It was just so pretty.
A hell of a percentage, man. Shot. A hell of a percentage. But then, like, NBA has so many guys, man. Just about any five that you can throw together, pretty much, is going to be something that can't miss, man. But now, it's what you guys see nowadays. So
a lot of 3-pointers and a lot of guard play nowadays.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little about some moments in your career that have been impactful. Where it's more than the game of basketball. This is relationships and helping the kids and stuff of that nature.
One of the biggest things in terms of impact that has happened for me in my career was dealing with loss. This year was tough for our group. Oh, I'm sorry. The kid and everybody else over there having a great time over here right now playing with his dog. But in terms of again impact, this year was a very, very impactful year for us. For me as a coach, because of a few different things. One, a lot of kids, like the Burleson community is very small, right? So all of our kids have grown up together, from the time, that they were able to walk. They've always been together. And we lost a young man named Dawson Barnes. Lost a young man in a car accident. And of course, he's in his senior year. Our guys, that's in their senior years, they've all come up and they're all friends. They're all tight. And the impact that young man had on our program and for our kids to have to deal with, that was extremely tough. And just sitting down and having the conversations with those kids, you just like, holy crap, man. Like, it really is, more than a game. Just dealing with the issues in which that they had to deal with, because again, some of our kids took it extremely personal, and they're still hurting to this day. Just dealing with some of the tears and the conversations. They're coming into the offices and they're breaking down to you. Another thing that became extremely impactful to me was the recruiting process, right? And when you have kids that are extremely talented, which I had this last year, and kids coming to you and they're saying, Coach, well, what more do I have to do? Right? Kids are playing injured, they're playing hurt, and they're still performing at a high level, and they're outperforming a lot of, their counterparts who are receiving these offers and all of these other things. And these kids are coming to you, it's like, Coach, like, what more do I have to do? Like, I'm killing myself out here. What more do I have to do? Coach, why is it that nobody wants me? Why am I not recruitable? And you're sitting there and you happen to deal with these things because you're like, and I'm having to tell them, like, dude, I really don't know, because it's not a height thing, and it's not a skill thing, and it's not it's not an academic thing. It's none of the above. I said, I don't know. And that hurt to core, and it made me lose a ton of respect for a lot of people in the recruiting industry. you know, a ton of it. So, and that still is something that puts a chip on my shoulder, and it's grown the chip on my shoulder even more. That bothers me, you know. So,
well, there's been several incidents that took place at Burbank where you have to have those conversations, sit down, and passing of a grandmother, passing of a grandfather. So, hey, my main thing, I'll talk to my kids, but at the same time, that whoever is affecting, I usually tell them to stay at home. Stay at home, be with your family. We're praying for you. We're gonna take care of things here. What I need you to do is stay with your family, because your family is your first entity that I want you to be concerned with right now. This family over here, we'll take care of this business, and we'll welcome you back when you come back. But you take care of that first, you know. And if it's a funeral, we'll be there. Let me know. Let me know the address and so forth, the information that I need to know, and I'll pass it on to the players, and we'll be there. Hey, I lost my mom last year, February, and my kids were there. I didn't tell them to be there, but they were there. You understand? So why would I not be there for them? So that's my thing on that. And we had several, of course, of those things that took place as far as my kids losing someone, losing a loved one. Or maybe dad got in trouble and got locked up. It's going to affect that kid, right? So I have to have that conversation one-on-one with him. And maybe even the mom comes in and talks to me as well. This is what's happening with him right now. Because you know there's going to be a little bit of a change or so forth. So those things do impact your program, your school, as far as them getting their education. But education is always number one, then athletics. Because anything can happen to you as far as athletics, then what do you have to follow? It should be that education. If I can't play anymore, but I do have my degree, I'm still able to get paid X amount of dollars. So that's why I tell them it's important. And besides, when you coaches, when you carry yourself as a professional, all right, and they see that you carry yourself as a professional, when you start talking dollars and cents or talking about degree versus athletics, oh shoot, he's making enough money. He's carrying the torch. He looks, you know, he looks the part. And hey, maybe I want to be a teacher. I can't tell you how many people, my kids, want to be coaches. Maldonado played for me, coach. You understand? Had several others that played for me wanted to go coach. But you got to talk them into getting that further education, because they don't get that further education, then you're only going to be making minimum. Do you want a job? Do you want a career?
Yeah.
You understand? So that's some conversation I have with my kids. As far as the recruiting part, back in the day, what I used to do is get a couple of coaches together so they can come and see my kids. I was doing some of that Jefferson was doing way back there in the day, is having a little shootout, per se, where you invite certain kids from the district to come in, seniors to come in, and let the college coaches come to your place.
Yeah.
Get about 8 or 10 of them that you can trust, that you believe in, that you know that's going to treat your kids right. Yeah. So that's something that I did in the past as well. Or, I don't know, do you know J.C. Collins, Marcus?
Yeah.
J.C.? Okay, every now and then, he'll have something at his place, and I'll send my kids over there to his place. It's a gym that he has. And JC is a person that worked with high school kids. Also, matter of fact, he has a couple that went to the NBA. So,
okay.
But I can trust him because I know I've been knowing him for X amount of years. All right, so. But those are some of the things I do for my kids. But I think basketball, you know, how that ball bounces up and down, just like life. Just like life. I have ups and downs. But we want you to have more positive bounces than negative bounces. So I try to tell my kids, you know, as we pray together before practice, after practice, before game, after game, hey, prayer changes things. It changes your life. It changes your lifestyle. You got to believe. What kind of person do you want to be? Going out to the community, going out into real life. You need direction? You need help? I'm here. That's what I get paid for. Do I get enough? Heck no. But guess what? I'm here for you anyway, because you're part of my family. You're a bulldog for life.
Yeah.
You just don't know. But, you know, I would think I don't want my kids to feel any different.
Absolutely.
Or less, you know. Hey, don't treat my kids like they're nothing. You treat them with respect as well as you want to be respected. So
Absolutely.
that's how I feel. I go to bat for my kids anytime, even today. I don't care who they are, or where they are, or where they at. They know how to get in touch with me, and I know how to get in touch with them. So
that's part of that relationship part. You know, they know, like you can't fake that. You can't fake that kind of caring for your kids. I mean, kids will know that. They'll know when it's not genuine. And so whenever that feeling is there, then they're gonna run through a brick wall for you, right? They're gonna do whatever you need them to do.
Go dogs.
Those bonds you create, man, they last a lifetime for sure.
yeah,
No, absolutely.
without a doubt.
Coach Jackson, Herb Jackson. Now as we start to wrap this up a little bit, just what is something as a veteran of this profession, just retired, what is some advice you could give a young coach, you know, making his way through this?
Well, number one, don't have any enemies. If you do, don't let them know it.
Yeah.
That's number one. They're going to come back and get you. No, but I would say just keep doing what you're doing. Be honest. Be determined. Let your kids know that you love them. Stay in touch with the parents to a point. Invite the parents into your practice from time to time when you know you're going to have certain things that you're doing that's not going to be offensive. Because, you know, if you hurt little Johnny in front of them, they go, oh, my Johnny's hurt. So, you know, do those type of things and invite them to ensure them that everything is okay in your practice. Because, you know, the things they hear nowadays is crazy. So, again, and every now and then walk around, get those teachers on your side. Walk around. This is something that I did a lot, guys. On my conference, I walk around and see that my kids were in class.
Yeah. And
then if there was a problem, they email me. I would definitely make sure I made an appearance around there. Of course, when I walk in the door, oh, Coach Jackson, everybody's quiet. Who was he looking for? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Especially the rookie teachers, man. Help them out as much as you can. To let them know that you're on their side, so that they won't mind giving you an email or a text. But those are some of the things that I did, and it helped a lot. It helped me a lot.
And TJ, you got
Yes, sir.
you got a guy like Coach Jackson who's 30 plus years in. Anything you'd want to ask, you know, before we call this a day?
The biggest thing is, how do you last 30 years in the same place? You know, and I'm being honest, you know, how do you, you know, just, you know, how do you outlast admin, football coaches, you know, executive athletic directors, right? I mean, you've outlasted quite a few. You know, how do you outlast them? How do you keep yourself in the proper brain mindset to continue to be able to push forward and survive all of these different decades, eras, personalities, leadership, changes in education, right? Changes in technology, right? Changes in the game of basketball, changes in kids. How do you survive that for 30 years and still come out as positive as you are?
You know what? When you enjoy what you're doing and you love what you're doing, time goes by so fast. Time goes by you know, you wake up one morning and say, dang, I've been doing this for 30 years. Well, I had to go back and look at the calendar, hey. And I kind of keep tabs on myself. Okay, this year I had this many wins. This year I had this many wins. I had to go back and count those. I said, dang, it's been 30 years. What the heck? But you know what? Again, I know it's a blessing. It's a blessing. And I try not to change. I try to be disciplined. I try to be the same person. But there's no secret. I try to be the same person. I'm going to smile from time to time, but we're going to practice hard. We're going to get after it. I'm going to tell you what the scout report is. This is what we need to do to be successful. Hey, in the classroom, this is what I want. I want you in there. I want you in the front as much as possible. But I try not to change things so people won't guess who you are. This is who I am. I'm not changing. This is who I am. Even people that have graduated already, when they send their kids to me, that's Coach Jackson. He's going to want this. They already know. They already know. You understand? But they know this, though. They know that I am going to love them. I'm going to care for them. I'm going to be on their side, and I'm there if they need me. That's not going to change. But at the same time, I want you to do what? I want you to be what? And the number one thing, Marcus, in 30-plus years, every last one of my seniors have walked across that stage.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that, Coach.
That's the thing I'm mostly proud of.
Absolutely.
And every now and then I put them on Facebook. I got to put this last group on Facebook. But yes, that's what it is. Hey, you know what? And let me go take a step back. I don't want to take credit for too much without saying my man upstairs gave me the strength, gave me the blessings. Okay. Without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. And a wife that's don't forget your wife.
Yes, sir.
All right, but other than that, that's one thing I can say.
Speaking of, Alicia says hello, Marcus.
Oh, tell her I said hi. Hope all is well over there. Hope you guys, I appreciate your time. I know it was a pretty long conversation, but kind of like what Coach Jackson said, it didn't feel like it because you just kind of time just flies by, an hour and a half later. But I do appreciate your time, and I appreciate you guys giving your insight and your knowledge and sharing it with us. And I think this stuff is useful for other coaches in the profession, for people that are on the outside of our profession.
Yeah,
really know what it entails and the passion involved. You talking with parents and spectators and whatnot, and it's good for people to see that side of coaches and how much a guy like you look at what Coach Jackson's saying. Bottom line, every one of my seniors in 30+ years have graduated, and that's what's most important. And so it's important that they see that stuff. I appreciate you guys very much.
Well, thanks for having me.
You.
You take care, and best wishes on you guys in your seasons.
Yes, sir.
We don't know what's going to entail this coming school year, but stay safe, stay healthy, and make sure you take care of your wives as well as your family.
Absolutely.
Take your mind now.
Coach Jackson, if you get the chance to speak to Todd Howie, tell him I said hello.
Will do, TJ. Will do. Take care. Thanks again.
All right.
Y'all stay safe out there.
Yes, sir. You too.
You too. Bye-bye.